Good day, classmates. Okay, this video is addressing MECH1310 Introduction to Electrical, and I'm talking to the Wednesday class. This video is being recorded today, which is the 17th of February, so what these instructions pertain to will be a lab conducted next Wednesday on the 24th of February. So, what I'm going to have the class to do and the students to do is to actually construct a pair of circuits, okay, and make predictions on current and perhaps power. And we will build the circuits in class. Okay, and we will be using the meters, so I think you'll find yourself learning a lot, particularly about hands-on. Something that we very strongly need. So let me dig out a marker here. Here's a black quartet, and let's try that. Okay, so the first circuit that I'm going to ask you to build will be a series circuit. As such, okay, we'll have a 200 ohm equivalent resistance there and a 150 ohm equivalent resistance there. And let me beef these numbers up a little bit so that you can read them. Okay, this one is 200 ohms, okay, with a 150 ohm resistor in series. Our power supply, the voltage, will be 50 volts DC. And what I will ask you to do is I will ask you to, using Ohm's law, calculate the current I that flows in this circuit. Okay, I'll let you jot that down or draw this this circuit on a piece of paper or a pad, an electronic pad, whatever you decide to use. Now, what we're going to be using to build the circuit with will be a lab volt trainer, and the resistances available for your use on the lab volt trainer are embedded in a container, and we have three batches of resistances, okay, in that metal container. And within the batch, you have 3 each resistances, okay? A 200 ohm resistance is not available. A 150 ohm resistance is not available. But you're able to enable the resistors in the circuit by using toggle switches. So what you can do is, with the proper selection, you can calculate which resistors you need to put in parallel in order to obtain 200 ohms here, and which resistors you need to put in parallel to make a resistor that is 150 ohms here. Then we will put those two resistances, okay, in series and do our work. Okay, that's the series circuit. So let's let me remove this. And the second circuit that we will build will be a parallel circuit. And we will have a 200 ohm equivalent resistance placed in that leg. And we'll have a 150 ohm equivalent resistance placed in this leg. Okay, once again, you'll be using the lab volt trainer, and you will have to concoct the resistances that I show you here, because there is not a 200 ohm resistor, and there is not a 150 ohm resistor available to you. Okay, and what I will ask you to do is calculate the current flowing from the source, and also I will ask you to determine the current flowing in this branch and the current flowing in this branch. And perhaps I will ask you to do some power calculations also. Now then, I'll let you get that down so that you can use it before your lab if you wish. And I will clean the board up for a little bit more discussion. And let me explain to you the lab volt resistance bank layout. Okay. Of course, the resistors are inside the metal containers so that you cannot get your fingers in on lethal voltages. But on the front of each container for resistances, we'll have an electrical jack at the top. Let me get a fresh marker here. Okay, we will have an electrical jack at the top. And another jack at the bottom, a second resistor, and then a third resistor. There will be a toggle switch in each branch. Okay, so with these toggle switches, I can turn it on and put the resistor into the circuit, or open it back up and take the resistor out of the circuit. So on the right hand side, we have a 300 ohm resistor. In the middle, we'll have a 600 ohm resistor. And then on the left hand side, there will be a 1200 ohm resistor. So you can see that simply by manipulating the switches, I can come up with a variety of resistances per bank. So this bank is on the left-hand side of the front of the enclosure. And we have the same thing two more times. A jack, switch. Another switch. Okay, and again, 300 ohms, 600 ohms, 1200 ohms. And we have another. Okay, so what happens is you can bring wires in with appropriate plugs, and I can configure these 3 banks any way I want to do so. I can put them all in parallel. I can put them into a series combination, whatever I want to do. An example of series would be, for example, I could bring a wire in here, connect to there, jumper from here to here, jumper from here to here, and take this one back to my power supply, and that would give me 3 resistances of my choosing, within reason, okay, to connect, okay. I can connect them in series, I can connect them in series parallel combination, what have you. And for our lab, these 2 wires will be headed back to our 50-volt power supply. So in a nutshell, this is what you'll be working with when you come to class next Wednesday. Take a look at the lab volt, and you'll see the switches and the resistance values, and you'll have a better idea of what this is about. Unfortunately, I'm working from home. As I explained this, or tried to explain this to you, and I don't have a photograph of the front of this trainer. So this is for your preparation. Please do so, and I will see you in the lab. Okay, Wednesday the 24th, was it? Yes, Wednesday the 24th. Take care.